Perfect. Hi, welcome to the ArtsyFartzy Club. We are still getting the gang out of the house so I can do this with you today. Let me check over here because I did not get a chance to set this up. I want to make sure that I am able to see live comments if necessary and cross our fingers that crossing the fingers that everything is a-okay. It's thinking. My Wi-Fi does a lot of that these days. Ever since Milton, we've had the worst internet service like forever. Okay, so that's working. We're working. Everything's working. Hi, welcome to the ArtsyFartzy Club. Again, my name is Mrs. Johnson. I am a retired art teacher. I have a master's degree in art education, and I decided to be a stay-at-home mom many moons ago, 4 kids ago, and I still love doing art, and I want to use my superpower to help you in your classroom, or if you're a student, to be able to do art at home on your own and have some fun. So let's get into it. I'm going to do the clickety click click. Let's zoop over. Now I'm little, so little. And we're going to do a penguin. Now, a couple times ago, I've been doing lives lately instead of my pre-recordeds. And usually for my pre-recordeds, I do books, and I like to do the read alouds from Storyline Online, which is a great resource if you're looking for a read aloud. But sometimes, if you're doing this every week, the library is limited and they really don't have a lot of holiday books and not ones that I'm in love with. So this is a really simple scholastic that we did a couple times ago about the Christmas penguin, and the Christmas penguin is Rolly. And Rolly wants to fly. That's his Christmas wish. And we made a three-dimensional, I do have him here, penguin. He's super cute. And this is one of the workshops that I have at the ArtsyFartzy Club studio. So we have a real live in-person location. We are right on the edge of East Lake, Tarpon Springs, Palm Harbor area in Florida. So if you're in the area, you can join us at a workshop and make your very own cool Rolly. Look at this guy, he's so cute. Okay, so I'm on a penguin kick. It's winter, we're pre-wintering. If you're a teacher, you're probably doing your fall stuff right now. So this is for you to have ideas, a jump start into your future self. And then we did a little toddler. If you teach child development or preschool, this is hard for you to see. Chicka, 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 chicka. Roll paper. What do we call this? Stocking. A stocking. Okay. Whee. And so this was for our little kids, and we put in wishing dust, and that was cute. Oh, so anyway, so we use lids to make our 3 circles, and we're going to use those lids again today. So I had lids last time, numbers 1, 2, and 3. This is a great way for you to have them do some number recognition. And today we are going to use just the small and the big. So 1 and 3. And we're going to draw a penguin. Now, I like to use a heavy drawing paper so that I can paint right on it. You can use watercolor paper, maybe cardstock. But if you are an art teacher, a big ream of 90-pound paper is the most economical way to go. And it's so universal. I do it for drawing. I do it for painting. It's right in that kind of happy zone where it can take different things. I am going to start. This is a 9x12. You could do this on a bigger paper, but keep in mind that my lids are this big and they are on a 9x12. And I'm going to turn my paper horizontal, which means the long way left to right. So there we go. This has some markies on the back here. Okay, we'll flip that over. And of course, the very first thing that I have my students do is to write their name on the back of their paper, but write it small just in case we need to use the back if we make a big mistake. All right. So I'm going to think about dividing my paper into 3 sections. So there's something called the rule of thirds. And the rule of thirds is a great way for us to think about placement in our designs. So that's if I divided this into 3 equal sections, which means I would draw a line going down. So I have 1/3, 2/3, 3/3 of my paper. And I could do the same this way. Could divide it this way into 3 parts. And so right here, where those lines intersect, there's a crisscross, and a crisscross, and a crisscross. These are great locations for a focal point, for something that we want interesting to be. So I'm going to take my number 3, my smallest lid, and I'm going to put in that focal point 1 circle. Trace this lightly because we're going to do some erasing. Okay. Then I'm going to take my large circle and I'm going to overlap it. And oh no, I just noticed, guys, that my screen is flipped. Can I flip it back? I did. Ta-da! Okay, now we're right. Okay. So I have overlapped. So overlapping means putting something on top of something else. So the top edge of my circle is overlapping that first circle. I'm going to hold it in place and very lightly, because we're going to do some erasing, right? I'm going to trace around my circle. So I have a circle and a circle. Now, where it overlaps, I'm going to erase. I usually have my big eraser, and I don't know where it went. Luckily, this pencil still has an eraser. But in my art program, I would always have a big eraser to use, because these don't last for very long when you're doing art. Okay. Excuse me. So this is my penguin. I'm going to go ahead and put a scarf on my penguin. So that area where it dips in, that's the neck. And I'm going to draw the scarf shape. I'm going to put a knot here, a tail, and a tail. All right, I can erase the neck part that's underneath. Ta-da! Now I'm going to go ahead and draw a hat. Leave room. So I want to make it way toward the top. This is the rim of the hat. Then I'm going to have it come up from the rim slightly inside that edge. Then I can do a bumpy line to make the poof. Erase inside your bumpy line. Erase the head inside your hat. You can't see through your hat. It's not a clear hat. Nice. Great job, guys. Oh, let's see what's going on here. Let's refocus. There we go. That's better. Okay. Oh, that being said, guys, can you do me a favor? And can you please take a moment to do all the YouTube-y things, like and subscribe? That really helps me out. I'm trying to go for that 1,000 subscribers. I have tons of videos. So like I said, we have the stocking video. We have our Rolly the Christmas Penguin video. There are all kinds of things. The Harold and the Purple Crayon just came out on Netflix for free. You can show that, chunks of that movie and the book as motivational material. There's a lesson on that for lower L. Tons and tons of material. Please like and subscribe. If you are an art teacher, share it out to your art teacher friends, and I super appreciate that. And if you also get a chance to follow me on Instagram, I post when I drop a video on there, and I do some things that we're doing in the studio on there that I don't necessarily have lessons on. I'll drop images of that. Also, I really appreciate it. Okay, let's get back to this. Okay. He's having, there we go. Just need a hand to focus on. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and draw an arch. So a big curved line, another arch, a big curved line. And you might want to wait a moment to see where I'm going with this, but this is going to be the black and the white spaces for his eyes. So this is where his cheek is. So it indents. Okay. Ooh. The black will connect to his beak. So I do an almond shape, or like a kind of a pointy football shape. That's his beak. Oval. Oval. If I'm going too fast, don't forget you can pause, rewind. You can even slow down the playback, but I don't guarantee what my voice will sound like. Okay, his eyes, and I'm going to go ahead and do a rosy cheek, cute little oval. There we go. There's the basic form of his face. Why is the one I made earlier is cuter? Why is that? That always happens. The first one you make is your best, and then you try to recreate that, duplicate that, and you're just like, meh. All right, diagonal line, diagonal line. This is going to be his flippers or wings, and it comes back curve and back into the body. We're going to create the black space. So it starts out thinner up here. I'm going to let it get fatter toward the bottom and go back to thinner at the top. Come on, Mrs. Johnson, true up. Don't do shaggy lines. It's a horrible habit I have. If you do a shaggy line, clean it up. Nobody wants to see that. Okay. Then I'm going to make, I'm trying to get the right angle for my arm. Sorry, I'm going off the camera. An oval shape, an oval shape. This is going to be my guidelines for my feetsies. Okay, so then I can make a curved line, bump, out, in, out, in, out. So 3 outies, 2 innies, okay? That's the web of his foot. So big curved line following that oval shape we just made. Out, in, out, in, out. Shazam. Okay. And it's that easy. You're done. You drew your penguin. That's the hardest part about this whole project. Whew. Great job. You guys deserve a round of applause. You're so fabulous. Okay. Now we're going to do some painting techniques on this project that are fun and simple. So this is definitely elementary ed level that they could totally do this. And just the quality of it improves, the craftsmanship improves as the students get older. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use a white crayon to do a wax resist. Now, it is tough to see, sorry, on the camera to see the wax resist. So I'm going to do, I'm going to have it come out from, I'm going to do this. Okay. So if I'm dividing it into the thirds, I'm going to do it at about that 1/3 line. I'm going to have it go up in a hill shape. It's going to come down, maybe do another hill shape. And I'm going to think of my light is coming this way. So I really want, I'm going to do kind of a scribble scrabble, but I'm making sure that I do it heavier on the right side of my hill. Okay. And then I do a little bit more. Chicka, 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 chicka. And then I have to have the hill coming out on the left side of my penguin. Chicka, 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 chicka. Not too dark, especially toward his body, because we'll be able to have some shadowing there. But really, that first big hill here, we really want it to show up. Okay. I'm actually going to turn my art upside down because I want to paint the sky first. And I have some salt, which I didn't put in the materials list, but I will after this project is done. So any salt will do, but table salt, that is. But I'm using, I think it's a kosher sea salt. If it's definitely the thicker kosher kind. The thicker crystals, I think, work better, in my opinion. Okay, so I have a fat watercolor brush. Let me see. Can you see it? Oh, we're having some internet problems, guys. Sad face. Okay, so it is a fat watercolor brush. Now, the thing about watercolor brushes, usually in your set, you'll have this. That's fine. That works too. If you're lucky to have a big one, use a big one because we're doing a big space. And the thing that makes a watercolor brush is the bristles. They're nice and soft. This one is a flat head, but that doesn't matter. Brushes can come in different shapes. They can be a round brush like this one, or they can be a straight across flat brush like this one. But the key is watercolors is a compound word. And I tell my students, what is the important part of watercolors? And they go, water. You have two choices. They usually get it right. So water in the watercolor. So I'm going to activate my blue by putting in a drop of water or 2 drops of water into my blue paint. Right now I'm just using a classic watercolor set that definitely has seen better days at this point. All right, I am going to try to see my line. I'm going to paint water up to that line. All right, think I got it. And I want to do a nice coating. Up to that line. I have to go sideways to be able to see my wax. When I hit the wax, it starts to resist it. So that tells me where I need to stop. You want to work quickly because you want your paint wet for this technique to work. You also want your paint to be fairly dark. If it's not terribly dark, it doesn't show up quite as nicely. I'm already going too slow. Work faster, Mrs. Johnson. Oop, trying to make sure I don't get into my penguin, but right up to my penguin as close as I can without ruining him. All right, looking good. I might do a nice little paint off so I don't have too many bloopy doops where it's darker in a spot. All right. Get that. Another way to avoid, see my paper is curling because it's so wet. You can tape this right to the table. That's another option. A reason to use the bigger paper is you could have nice taped edges. Most artists do tape the edges because that's better for matting and framing. Honestly, I probably would do it if I was doing this project in my classroom. Okay, so I'm taking that salt and I'm sprinkling it all around my background. Okay. Now, this is going to do a salt technique on the paper, which it needs to sit there and dry. I will very carefully turn around my paper now and let that dry. Now, for the snow area, we still want it to be light. So really, you're not painting the snow. The snow is white. You're painting the shadows or the reflections on the snow. So the blue sky reflects onto the snow, and so it will give it a kind of a blue aura to it, a blue hue, sort of. Okay, so I'm going to I just put water on my brush. It still has a little bit of blue paint in there. And I'm going to just kind of wet down. And if I did it correctly, that wax will resist my paint. So it's super duper light. I don't even know if you guys can, yeah, you can see it. So light. Okay, now I'm going to come in with some more of my paint, and I'm going to do the shadows. So the other side of my penguin, maybe under his feet. Okay. If I feel like I got too dark, I can always come back and erase it with my paintbrush by taking some away. Okay. And then the left side of this hill, I might put some in. All right. So that being said, I'm going to also put in a tiny bit of purple to vary the color. Activate that purple just a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. So it's differentiated from the sky. I don't want that purple dark. But just something for a little bit of variety. Okay, and then I can come back in if I go, oh my goodness, that looks a little dark over here. Wash that brush. You snag a little paper towel, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Especially inside my penguin. You're not supposed to be in there. Sneaky. All right. And I don't like, oh, it's so dark out here. I'm going to lighten it up by coming in with that clean brush. And I'm going to suck some of that paint up. Okay. All right. And I want to bring down that sky a little bit more. I don't like how it didn't come around my penguin here. Boop. All right. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Okay. So that's day one. Let it dry. It's going to completely dry. Then they're going to come back and do the details of their penguin the next day. We're going to talk about some extension work too, because if you got fast colors, and it's all relative, guys. You know, some of you guys have 25-minute art classes. I get it. And you're amazing for what you do with what you have, time-wise. So you can start to see that I'm getting some of those crystallized blotches like snow in the background. All right, cool. We're going to set that aside. We're going to move on to day two. So that happened. And you tell them to brush this off into the trash can so your janitors don't get mad at you. But they're going to brush off. Or mom, if you're a student, do this in the trash can so mom doesn't get mad at you. Here, you can see I started to wait. I waited too long to put the salt on this part, It's so faint, and it was more watery. It was lighter paint than this area. And so you can barely see the crystallization. It's meh. Okay, but then it's better over here. All right, so you have choices at this point. You can do crayon, but I don't think it'll give you a nice crisp edge that you would like. But I would recommend doing, you could do marker, but I think my personal favorite would be to do color pencil. Okay, so I've got the big pack of Crayola, or my personal favorite is Prismacolor. And I know that's a splurge for a lot of art programs, but I'm going to go ahead and use it because it's my color pencil of choice, but it doesn't have to be yours. Okay. So I'm going to start with my penguin because that's going to be the biggest effect, is going to be working on that penguin and having that black and white is what's really going to say penguin when I am done. So I'm tracing those lines. I'm shoring it up. No scritchy scratch lines now, guys. You've committed. Make it nice and crisp. Be confident. I am going to outline the body nice and dark. And we can do some things with our coloring and shading as we get into the penguin. Let me check over here really quick to Instagram. How you guys doing over on Instagram? Okay. We're working. All right. So I can color in. Now, do you remember where I said the light was coming from? I said the light was coming from the right side, right? Because I used the crayon more over here. I didn't do it as dark on this one. But that being said, I am going to make sure I shadow or shade the left side of my penguin. So I'm going to come back in with this colored pencil, and I'm going to darken the left edge of the black part of my penguin. So I'm coloring. And I want to darken up that edge. Dark. You can rotate your paper. Don't be afraid to rotate your paper when you're coloring. It doesn't have to stay the way that people are going to look at it. It's important to go back to that position and see how people are going to see it. Step back from your art. See if you notice any spots that are not colored in consistently. Okay. You guys see what I'm saying though? How I'm darkening up this side? Darker. Nice and dark there. And then let it kind of blend out. Okay. Color in that wing. I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to color it in. And I want to make sure that that left side, I'm going to shade it. Make it darker. Same with the head. Color, color. Do you know, today is a beautiful day here in Florida. It's still warm. Oh, I'm using my pencils. It's still warm out, but it's breezy and warm, not hot. Oh, I'm so excited. You know, some of you live in not warm places. And usually by Halloween, the super chill is kicking in. I think some of you guys had a warm Halloween, so you didn't have to wear winter jackets over your Halloween costume. Thank goodness. I used to live in Michigan, and I remember crying one year that I did not want to have something over my costume, and I think I ended up wearing stuff under my costume. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do those eyes. Remember not to color in your shine. Now it's up to you. Do you want the shine to be an indent, or do you want to go around it? So you got to make your choice. So I can go indent like that, or go around it and have it being inside the eye shine. All right, now I'm debating, do I want to outline the nose? You know what, I'm going to color it first and then decide. I do notice I got a little pencil inside it, and since yellow is a light color, I'm going to erase that because you don't want it showing through. Okay. I think I would outline it. Nah, I don't know. It's up to you. As long as I have the yellow, I'm going to go into these feet. A little black started to creep in there. Now, the nice thing about the Prismacolor is that it will color over the watercolor. But if it's a light color, it's not magic. But I really kind of think it's okay. I think it's okay for your mediums to interact with each other. It just creates another, dimension to your work. And I think I will. I'm going to go ahead and color, or trace, I should say, that outline just to make it look nice and crisp. I don't know. I'm sure people will debate me because it makes it look cartoony, but it looks cartoony already anyway, so I don't think that that's wrong. Come in and get this wing. I'm going to darken the left side of the wing so that it stands out from the body, but also it should be shadowed there on the left side near the body. And I didn't really darken this side of the head terribly much. I'm going to go back in, fix that up a little bit. Okay, cute. Now you can just outline the beak, or you can divide the upper beak from the lower beak. Like so. Oh, I don't know. What color do I want to make the hat? Do I want it to be like the Christmas penguin or just its own thing? I think I might just do my own thing. I'm an own thing kind of gal. All right. This is where the kids start to show their personality. You can put designs on the hat. It could be stripes. It could be dots. It could be whatever. I'm going to come back in with this same color, and I'm creating like ribs on the rim of the hat. Now, I don't know if you notice, I just slightly am curving it this way on this side and slightly curving it that way on the other side. I can do the same color for the rest of the hat. I can switch up the color. I think I might switch up the color because I'm going to use this color on the poof. Make it poof-tastic. Now, when I do this for my students, I would already have an example all the way done, so they don't have to sit there and watch me color the whole thing. But for us, we get to spend time together and hang out. All right. Now I could just color it the one color, or I could might do like polka dots. Thinking I'm gonna do some polka dots. Here we go. Why not? Okay. I just had like an ADHD moment. I got distracted. I am listening to the sounds of I don't even know what machine it is, bulldozers or garbage trucks or whatnot. But outside my neighborhood, across the street, this is how loud it is, mind you. There was an empty field, and that's one of the reasons I like living where I live, because it's got lots of nature. We have deer that come through. They are using the big field as a garbage dump temporarily for all of the debris and garbage created by the hurricanes. You know, people having to get out their homes and stuff. So when it's quiet in our house, which is not very often. Oh, what happened? What happened? Never have I ever. What is going on? Wow, guys, this is new. What is happening? Come on, baby. Wow. That was so bizarre. Oh, no. Oh, dislike. Well, replay crew won't see this. But you that are with me right now, this is an experience. And add. What in the world? That was so bizarre. At least it didn't do what it did to me the other day, where it just like stopped altogether. So at least that let me fix it. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. Anyway. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. And then the sad part is that I don't know what the deal is, but YouTube takes like hours for it to like process this video. And so I won't be able to fix that, cut it out for hours and hours. And so the video will be like that. So I hope that you kept faith and watched through that little ditty. And if you did, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it, because if you stayed through that, then you're my people and you want to be here. So please do like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. All right. I'm going to bring down that dark purple into his scarf. So how many of you guys are looking forward to Thanksgiving? I know it's a mixed bag for some people. Some people have lots of stress with being with family. For myself, I go to my husband's family for Thanksgiving, and he has 3 half-sisters, and 2 of them live in Australia, and then they have to come back to the States to be able to renew their visa. So they've been here for a while, and they're actually going to be here for Thanksgiving, which is really special this year because we haven't seen them at Thanksgiving for quite some time. So that's exciting. And they brought their boyfriends. So their boyfriends are on like these super long vacations. I don't know how they work that out with their jobs, but hey, more power to you. All right, I'm going to shade the left side of my stuff, my scarf. Shade, shade, shade. Maybe the bottom a little bit more too. And the left side of the knot. And the bottom of the knot. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I don't have a pink. All right, come on, Crayola. Crayola's got everything. And color it in. Okay, so I said I was going to do some stuff for some early finishers. So you undoubtedly have children that will color faster than others, and they'll be like, I'm done. I'm bored. What do I do next? Well, my dearies, pull out those greens and let's make some trees. And we're just going to make simple trees. So this is still really accessible to our lower L. We don't need to be making anything crazy. So things appear big when they're close to you, and they look smaller when they're far away, and that is called perspective. So if I wanted a tree right next to my penguin, it would be quite large. It would be bigger than my penguin. It would probably fill up my whole page just about. So I want these trees to be off in the distance on the either on the horizon line. Okay, the horizon is that imaginary line where the sky meets the ground, or kind of on the snow, slightly closer than the horizon line, but not as close as the penguin. Okay. So to keep this shape simple, I'm going to be doing curved diagonals. So a diagonal line, right, would look like a teepee, but to kind of make it look a little bit more like a tree, I'm going to curve those out, and I just build it up. So smaller layer on top of a smaller layer on top of a smaller layer until I am satisfied with the size of my tree. And if I go, hey, I don't like that, I can always make it a little bit bigger, but you can't take it away. So see how I just made him bigger? Now, I might want, let's see if they have it. do we have a darker green in Crayola? Crayola, what do you got? Show me what you got. It's the same green. You have a darker green? Come on, guys. Help me out here. Let me see. Or maybe I should have started with a lighter green. Let's see. What are you? Let's check you out. Let's see if this guy's lighter. Slightly. Okay. And what's nice is that we can layer on some different shades of green to create visual interest. So those little details, I like to tell my students, my own daughter, the details, just like when you're writing a story and you use describing words to make it more interesting for the reader. Same with your art. You're going to use more description, like different colors, to make it more interesting to look at for your viewer. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Whoop, 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 whoop. Getting in some colors. Now, let's pretend I'm done. I might want one more tree. I might even put trees over here. Let me get another color. Let me get another color. Okay. Do another lighter tree. Excuse me, I'm sorry. We're going to have this guy running off my page. All right. Layer, layer, layer. Creating that visual interest. Yeah. Yep. Come on, guys. It's yummy. It's yummy when you have more than one color. It looks so much more interesting. Now, they get done with that. I definitely have more room for more trees. Okay. Let's say they get done with that. White oil pastel. Maybe even a paint marker. I probably would go with the oil pastel myself. So I'm going to. Oh, do clean your oil pastel so it is definitely white, because a lot of times you'll get other colors on there. Okay, I'm going to put some snow on my branches. Yes. See? Do you guys see? It's more visual interest. More details, the more description in your story. It's snowing. It's snowing so much that the trees have snow on them. That makes our story, our implied story about our painting, more fun for the viewer. They get to go, oh, I understand now that this is happening in this picture. And you could even, if you wanted, come in and put some snow back into your hills. I don't know. Can you guys see it on there? Not really. That's unfortunate. I see it. Okay. But you can even highlight the snow using the white oil pastel. And then they go, I colored it too dark. All right. Well, let's get in there. I'm going to highlight with some oil pastel. Layer, layer, layers. The more details we have, the more interesting our art is. Okay. What do you think, guys? I definitely I really feel like I am missing a tree here, and I can't even. I gotta do it. That's so pretty. I love this one. Crayola. Thank you, Crayola, for having multiple greens in your 24 pack of Crayola color pencils. It will make all the difference. There. Okay. Get some more branches in this tree. It's looking a little scraggly. Got a Charlie Brown tree going on here. There we go. Woo! This is like one of the only times that I'll say scribble scrabble. Go for it, guys. Don't get crazy, but you can scribble scrabble in an organized fashion and create visual interest. Because if you're too careful with your trees, they won't look natural. So have fun with it. Let her rip. And get creative. Okay, now let's get some snow on this guy. You know you're an artist when like you see that space and you just can't do it. You can't leave it alone. Boom. Boom. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up. I like this project. I think the kids will like this project. I think it's a good idea. I don't know. You tell me. I mean, it's all been done before. I get it. There's nothing new, but we can do all of these things and add them together in a new way. Here's my new original idea. So easy. It makes it so accessible because it all started with 2 circles for our little people to have success. So use those drawing aids like shape tracers, and then they learn that it all starts with simple shapes. You know, we had our ovals for our feet, and then we added on to those to make it into the feet. And, you know, the almond or football shape, ovals for the eyes, all of that adds up to create something amazing. We learned a lot today, guys. We learned about the rule of thirds, right? Finding visual interest in our art by dividing our paper into thirds and lining things up with that. So we used this third meeting this third to create the face of our penguin right there to offset it and create more visual interest in our art. We divided the horizon 2/3 up, 1/3 down on this line of interest, right? We learned about painting techniques like wax resist and salt techniques and wet on wet. We did coloring with our colored pencil and shading one side to make it look that there's light hitting our object and there's shadow on the other side, and doing the same in our watercolor to create a little bit of shadow and a little bit of dimension here. Also, speaking of dimension, we talked about perspective, how now our penguin looks closer. This tree looks like it might be closer to me than these trees that are smaller off toward our horizon. And we did layering of colors to create more dimension and more visual interest. And we even came in with another medium like oil pastels on top of our colored pencils to create the snow, which also created more visual interest. So you've got lots of extension work available to early finishers, and it looks like a really groovy winter scene when you're all the way done. So I hope that you guys had a great time and that you're super proud of yourselves. If nobody's told you today, I absolutely love you. And if this is your first time here at the ArtsyFartzy Club, you are officially an ArtsyFartzy Club member. Yay! Bam. My name is Mrs. Johnson. Again, This is the Artsy Fartsy Club. We have real in-person classes right here in the Tarpon Springs, East Lake, Palm Harbor, Florida area. Come and visit. I would love to teach you too. And until we see each other again, I hope that you are absolutely artastic. Have a wonderful weekend and see you guys live every Saturday at 11 a.m. And I even do drop lessons on Wednesdays, sometimes live, sometimes pre-recorded on Wednesdays. So see you. Be artastic.